This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Athletics.
Leaping at the wall and score! A towering drive into center field by Rooker.
And 29 other MLB clubs.
A judgy blast. All rise. Here comes the judge.
Swung on, hit high, hit deep to right, away back into the second deck.
Bobby Witt Jr. becomes the first shortstop in Major League history to have two 30-30 seasons.
Shohei Ohtani starts the 50-50 club.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe, from humidors to walk-off dingers to Hall of Fame talk. We have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of A's Cast Live, the Monday edition with only 18 games left. The sprint to the end is on, and the A's have a huge series, or I should say series, against the Boston Red Sox. Can the A's play big-time spoiler in the American League? Because it's set right up, right now, right in front of you. You've got the Red Sox for 3 straight here at the ballpark in West Sacramento. After they leave us, they're taking on the New York Yankees. And then we'll be at Fenway Park to take them on for 3 more. So the next 3 series for the Red Sox, A's, Yankees, Red Sox, you don't think we can play a big part of how the American League goes down? This is where we are right now in the East. Toronto is your leader by 2 games over New York, 3.5 over the Boston Red Sox. Then you go to the wild card. Right now, New York owns the top wild card, followed by the Red Sox, the Mariners. Then just right outside by 1.5 games is Texas. Just 2 games by Kansas City, who once again the last 3 games for the Royals will be here at the ballpark in West Sacramento. And our old buddy Stephen Vogt, his guys are still in this thing at 2.5. And you could technically say the Rays at 4 back are still in this. We have a full-on just sprint to the finish line, and the A's and also the Athletics still take on the Houston Astros. The A's can play a part in the American League playoff race, no question about it. It's spoiler time, Commander Cody.
Red Sox only 1.5 behind the Yankees for the top wild card and 3.5 ahead of the Mariners, who they had a pretty big weekend in Atlanta the last 2 games, scoring, 28 runs in 2 games. Big dumper. Now
the Mariners have been bad.
Yeah.
They have not been winning.
The only thing about them that's been interesting the last few days is now Cal Raleigh's 1 home run away from tying Mickey Mantle's record for most home runs by switch hitter in a season. So the Mariners, if they can score runs, maybe, but the American League wild card race and the American League East division race is going to be interesting. And with Texas winning these games without Garcia and Seager and Eovaldi, like it's
Simeon,
like all these guys are hurt and they're still winning. So kudos to Bruce Bochy, and the Rangers are hanging in there.
Well, since all of you just want to talk football now and you act like baseball doesn't exist, yes, we are still here. The Athletics took 2 out of 3 over the weekend against the Angels. They just beat the snot out of them the first 2 games. You're hoping for the 3-game sweep. It just didn't happen. But still, it was quality. You take 2 out of 3 and you move on. But this is what excites me. And Dave O'Brien is going to be here, TV voice of the Boston Red Sox. He's going to be here at 5:15.
5:30 now, because Colby Thomas is in a meeting right now, so I don't want to have Dave O'Brien waiting.
Okay, all right. So Dave O'Brien will be here, legendary voice, ACC Network, college football, but obviously what he did, tournament time, college hoops, but also a big deal when you are the face of the television broadcast of the Boston Red Sox. So our good buddy Dave O'Brien will be here, I guess, at 5:30. Colby Thomas will be our player, going to be showing up.
Center fielder today.
All right, so here's the deal. Things have kind of changed, right, because they haven't seen the Red Sox this year, so they're having to do their advance meetings with Mark Kotze addressed earlier with the media that at this time of the year, it's very rare that you have not faced an American League team yet. So they've got to do their advanced scouting meetings. And so Colby Thomas will be out here when Colby Thomas gets out here. He is in the lineup today. I'm thrilled about this matchup today. This, to me, can you name me a better pitching matchup that we have been involved in this year?
No, I was excited about this.
The thing, you got Garrett Crochet.
Yep.
Right now, you would call him the underdog. He's the second horse right now in the American League Cy Young Award. Tarek Skubal right now is your favorite. He's number 2. He's had a phenomenal year. He struggled a little bit lately. We will get into that, but he's still 14-5 with a 2.67 ERA. And for the Athletics, how are you not excited about Luis Morales 3-0 with a 1.59 earned run average? I mean, this is a matchup like I can't wait to see Luis Morales pitch against this lineup. I can't wait to see our players. This team, the Red Sox need to win. Okay? They just struggled, right? All of a sudden they lost a few games in a row and you start panicking. When you start losing this time of year and you lose 3 games in a row, there's panic. I mean, what's happening with the Dodgers? Everybody's not looking at the Dodgers as the same right now after what happened to them in Baltimore, especially with Yamamoto having the no-hitter with only 1 out left. Forget the no-hitter. They end up losing the game. They got swept by Pittsburgh. I mean, you start losing this time of year, you start having panic.
Panic! Panic at the disco.
There is no doubt there is panic at the disco.
As Brian Kenny would say, they've been a tad disappointing.
They've been a tad bit disappointing. And, for the Red Sox, each one of these games, and for our players to gain this experience, right? When we talk about our young core being so good, they need to learn how to play in games that matter. Because if you took May out, well, those games in May really mattered, and you lost 20-21. You need to learn how to play a full season. You need to learn how to stay out of long droughts. You need to learn how to play against the good teams, against the good players. So at this point, it's about a learning experience and playing the Red Sox for 6 more games, knowing how much it means to the Red Sox. This is great experience for our players.
Absolutely. I think going up against Crochet, a guy that, he's already passed it was one of the big things in the notes today about how many innings he surpassed already from his career high. And it made me think of Luis Morales because Morales has already, has already passed his innings limit in the minor leagues. And he was shut down for a bit pitching out of the bullpen in the minor leagues with Fran Reardon and the Aviator. So that's why I'm very intrigued by this pitching matchup of 2. The notes say future ace. I hate that we put that term out there. I heard a broadcaster called Luis Severino our ace the other day. I will not say who that broadcaster was. He may or not be in the TV booth that is 25 years old, but that guy called
Chris Carey called Luis Severino our ace.
He did, yes.
Get your facts straight.
I did, Mike Gundy.
Chris Carey is very excitable, and Chris Carey is very positive.
Correct, yes.
He is very, very he grew up in the South. Broadcasters in the South are very, very positive. So I can see where he would go with that. I don't know if I could agree with that. Luis Severino, who said he was tired yesterday. Tired. He was tired to start the game.
That's not good.
I don't think that's what aces tend to talk about, mounds and problems and weather and can't sit in the clubhouse and now I'm tired, we need Luis Severino pitch a lot of good innings for this ball club, especially going into next season.
Absolutely. But tonight, Morales and Crochet, I hope we get our money's worth because it's going to be a good one to see.
I have no problem calling these guys. Well, I think Crochet is there. I have no problem throwing that on Luis Morales right now.
Oh, boy.
This kid.
It's a lot of pressure.
This kid is unbelievable. You're talking about effortless velocity. He's got great deception. His sweeper is just nasty. What is it? Guys are just 1 for 15 with 6 Ks against the sweeper. He's got a changeup. How many young pitchers that throw this hard have developed a changeup like this? He's got 3 legit pitches that he's got true feel over all 3. Now, if you're just listening to A's Cast or you're listening on 650 KSTE, you can't see it, but a great job by you, Commander. If you're watching on YouTube or you're watching on Twitter, you're seeing these highlights. This kid's got command. We were worried about his command. Why were you worried about his command? There's no problems with the command.
No, he looks great. I mean, I think he's been as advertised for the organization for a guy that as I mentioned, he had the innings limit, but I think he's been a revelation for this pitching staff the last, the handful of starts he's had. And going into the future, I think he's a guy you build around for sure.
Well, what I also love, too, is this crowd. We're already starting to see a bunch of Boston people here. I mean, Boston's first time ever to the ballpark in West Sacramento. the next 3 days, I got to think you're going to be pretty packed. I know people have been hounding me for tickets. I like Luis Morales pitching in front of a packed house tonight against a ball club that's got to win.
Yeah, I think that the adrenaline you'll get from it, because you saw, I mean, pitching in St. Louis isn't the same anymore. They're not packing that.
There was nobody.
Yeah, they're not packing Busch Stadium like they used to. And the Cardinals are a 500 team now. I mean, after they won the series against the Giants, they're a 500 club. But pitching here tonight against the Red Sox is going to be a good test for the young right-hander for the Athletics.
On that football note, nice little weekend for the Raiders. Nice little comeback victory for the San Francisco 49ers.
The Raiders, who they beat? Patriots.
Huh?
Patriots.
They went down and can't call it revenge for the tuck rule game, but
well, not because Brady owns half the part of the Raiders. So.
Yeah, that's a whole different dynamic of it. So yeah, good. And you know what? This is the best time of the year. This is the time of the year where we bring more people. Like, think even Monday Night Football tonight. People are going to be sitting now. We start conditioning people to sit on the couch and watch television again, right? Or whether you watch your tablets or whatever. But all of a sudden, once football's over tonight, there's going to be people sitting there going, oh, what else is on? Hey, there's the A's game, Red Sox. Or in the post game, there's A's cast. You'll see it.
Yeah.
You're this time of the year, as much as everybody talks about how football takes away, it also brings a lot of people back into watching sports. As the weather starts to change, it starts to go to fall, you got that feel. It makes people start realizing, we're not up and about and out like we normally are.
Yeah, I think having football back is great, but we're still right in the heat of the pennant races for teams, and we're trying to build for the future for the A's. So having Boston here right now, I know it's interesting. It's late in the season, but I think it's a good time to have Boston here because you want to have the crowds. You want to see what it's like. You're going up against a team fighting for the playoffs. This is a good building blocks. I know you guys have talked about on A's Cast and NBC Sports California that this is the way to play spoiler and be that team for the A's is a good test tonight against the.
Yeah, who do you want to see again? The Mariners?
Preferably not, but we already saw
the
them.
Rangers?
13 times.
Texas Walker Ranger. Yeah, do you want to see the – what did I call it again? Texas Walker Ranger. Walker Texas Ranger
correct.
is
Chuck
the
Norris.
Correct name, Chuck Norris. Yeah, I don't want to see Texas Chainsaw or whatever again. All right? Done with it. I like seeing a team. I like seeing these teams. And the way the season is going to end up, too, I think is going to be fabulous with the Astros and the Royals here. Because hopefully Royals are still playing for something, and who knows, the division could be on the line. The A's helping decide how the American League gets decided is great. The challenge. You got to have challenges. You got to have damn goals. Just can't be sitting here going, well, I'm just going to worry about my average and my home runs. And they don't worry about average. I'm just going to worry about how many home runs I hit, how many extra base hits. I mean, no. If you want to be winners, if you got to be winners, you got to start playing the right way. And you got to start learning how to beat people. Because guess what? You haven't learned it yet. I don't think there's anybody that can sit here and say they've got things licked yet. They got a long way to go. And we're going to talk about this all off season because one thing that I will say is what's your record on May 31st of next year? What is your record? That'll be 2 months into the season. It'll be that 31st. You play the Yankees. It's the final game of a 3-game set. What is your record? We know what the record was this year. What will your record be at the end of May?
I like that because usually what they say Memorial Day is when you start gauging where you're at as a team, and that's right around when that will be. So I think finding out where we are then, and hopefully there isn't a 20 of 21 stretch like there was this year, but maybe in the positive direction, and you know where this team's going to be going forward. And I think that's a good date to look. By the way, I just got a text. Colby Thomas will be here momentarily.
Okay. Well, yeah, because we're going to go down to spring training, and they're going, we got expectations. I'm going to be like, yes, you do. What's your record going to be on May 31st?
That's going to be the first question. Let's have everyone predict. There's our new video. Predict the record by May 31st.
Yeah, what's your record on May 31st? Don't give me this pie in the sky 6 months. What is your record on May 31st? I'm going to give you your first benchmark in all of baseball.
Can we go full?
The A's benchmark next year is May 31st. Don't tell me about July 4th. Don't tell me about Memorial Day. Your first benchmark 2 months in, May 31st, what is your record? And then I'm going to tell you whether you're able to compete or not.
I think asking the players that is a good question because it makes them aspire to have a certain record by a certain date, where I think a lot of teams don't do that. I think these guys take it day by day, but if you set goals where you want to be, hey, we want to be, well, I don't know how many games in that would be, like 60-0, man. Like Gruden would say.
Win.
When they look,
win.
But if you could be 60 games in,
that's Frank Caliendo, by the way, doing Gruden.
35-25, like that's.
I'll be happy with 500. I mean, I will be, but it's the time now that you're seeing when you go up against someone like Garrett Crochet. Now you could say, well, they swept the Tigers. You know, the Tigers at this point, they're kind of just finishing out the season, because then you had the Rangers come in with urgency and they just kicked the crap out of you and swept you. So it's how are you going to play against teams who have that kind of urgency? Can you match their intensity? And to be honest, they couldn't match Texas's intensity, right? So it's, whatever you do, you go and you beat, however you do against the Cardinals, however you do against the Angels, those teams don't have it. It's how do you do against teams that have that word urgency? I loved Ollie Marmol use that for Jordan Walker, his own player. We didn't get into this because no one's going to care, but during that series. But I thought it was great how finally seeing a manager challenge a young player and say, young man, you need to start playing with some damn urgency, right? You need to start figuring this thing out. You need to start acting. You need to start bringing it every day. For some reason, we have a hard time doing that in our sport. We always act like there is a tomorrow. There's endless tomorrows for people, but that's not the case. And a guy that I'll give a lot of credit to, who we just saw over the weekend, home run number 35, was Joe Adell. My God, at 26 years old, how many years have we been waiting for Joe Adell to break out and be the superstar?
You're only a year off on your hot take.
I had a hot take last year that Joe Adell would break out and have big numbers. He wouldn't replace Shohei Ohtani, but he would do a good job of putting a dent into what the Angels were losing with Shohei Ohtani. That didn't work. Obviously, this year starting to work. But, yeah, he finally breaks out. So finally breaks out. Colby Thomas is joining us now here on A's Cast Live as we get you ready for the Red Sox and for the Athletics. Things have been going good for you since the last time we've talked.
Yeah.
How is everything?
It's great, man. I can't complain. Everything's been good. It's been good.
How has it been being moved up to hitting third and hitting fourth and being in the prime of the order?
It's awesome. It's the coaches think I can hit in that spot, and it's a big confidence booster, and those guys up there, they can really hit, like Rook and Lang and Kurtz, all those guys, Sodi. I mean, they can really hit. So when they put me in there, it's awesome. It's a good feeling.
But this has always been who you believe you should be, because you've torn it up in the minor leagues. You've torn it up hitting 3 and 4. Is it now starting to feel a little more comfortable here at the big league level?
Yeah, of course. It's a completely different game up here than it is down there, and it's nice to be able to get more bats up here, and I get more confidence and just it's a completely different game though. Like the stuff down there is a lot different than the stuff here. So to be able to hit at the top of the order here is a good feeling, and I've had some success up there.
Well, and also the expectations are a lot different up here.
Yeah.
Right. Winning actually, winning and losing is the meaning of winning and losing is a lot different up here.
Yeah, it for sure. In the minor leagues, it's you're trying to get better. Obviously you want to win, but it's about grinding it out, getting better. I'm trying to perform. I'm trying to perfect this aspect of my game versus this aspect. Here, it's about winning. You want to win. That's it. And that's what we're trying to do. And we have the guys in there to do it. And so.
Well, good for you that we're on a run of facing left-handed pitching, and you've been mashing left-handed pitching.
Yeah.
What is it when a left-hander's on the mound that just the light goes on for you and you're ready to rock?
Honestly, I don't know. In the minor leagues, other than this year, I was a reverse split guy, so I hit righties better. And in college, I hit righties a lot better. But this year, they had started putting me in there more to face lefties, and I've gotten more confident about it. I've started to see more, and I mean, these are the best left-handed pitchers in the world. So being able to face the best of the best, I mean, it only gets easier, I guess. Like when you face guys like Skubal and you face like a guy like we're facing today. I mean, what an opportunity. It's
this
it's
guy's
awesome.
legit. What's so interesting too about the way you're hitting lefties is that reports have been out that left-handers right now are maybe as effective as they've ever been in the history game because their velocity is up. You don't see a lot of left-handers. That's one thing a lot of people need to realize is obviously on planet Earth, there's far more right-handed people than left-handed people, and it equates to all of sports. So you grow up, and especially once you get to pro ball, you don't see a ton of left-handed guys. For years, a lot of them were just specialists.
Yep.
So to see a run of left-handed starters is actually very odd.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because we have our list of starters that we see, and you see the lefties are in red, and we saw a bunch of them. I was like, all right, this is awesome. Get a good chance to get in a groove, and I mean, these are some good ones that we're gonna face. This upcoming stretch is gonna be some really good ones. Crochet's a really good arm, and then they got the kid who made his debut recently, and he's a really good arm too.
So when you look at a pitcher like going tonight, how do you prepare? Whether it's a Scooble or it's somebody, you do this probably for everybody, but when it's a super elite guy, is more video? Like, how do you prepare for this?
Yeah, I watch my video. I like to see what he tries to do to other hitters, and I like to pick a spot. I mean, if this guy comes out and he gives his best stuff, we're looking for a mistake. That's what we got to hit. We got to hit the mistake. I mean, if he comes out and dots all pitches, it's going to be tough. But hopefully he's going to make some mistakes, and we got to capitalize on those mistakes and not miss them.
All right, I've been talking a lot about the word urgency. You know who's got urgency? The Boston Red Sox.
Yep.
They're coming to town. They're in a battle for the division. They're in the battle for the wild card. They've recently lost a few games in a row. They ended a 3-game losing streak yesterday, but every game to them means something because if you slip, are you guys going to feel that urgency? This place is going to be packed tonight. There's going to be a lot of Red Sox fans. I mean, they're playing for something, and you want to spoil it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we try to we go out every day trying to win the game, obviously, and we're going to take that same approach into tonight, and we're going to see what we can do. We're gonna give them what we got. So.
Yeah, well, how fun is it knowing that you can be that spoiler?
It's a good feeling. It's awesome. It's exciting. Gives us a little more edge, and we like that.
All right, looking at being up here now for a while, what has it been like? Because when we first were talking, you just got here. What's it now that you've been here for a while? You've settled in a little bit. What is the big league life like?
It's kind of what you dream of. It's also, you talk about like you're in the minor leagues and you're like, man, a big leaguer wouldn't swing at that pitch, or a big leaguer takes a different approach pregame and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's true. You see it, you're watching in the cage and I'm watching, Rook hit or Lang hit, and I'm watching those guys and I'm like, man, every swing has a purpose. Every swing has a result that they want. If they don't get that result, that's not what they like. And it's pretty much everything you've dreamed of.
It's interesting. Everything they do is with purpose.
Yep.
There's not wasted movement. There's not wasted time.
Nope. It's you go in the cage or, and guys taking ground balls. They have a mindset of what they want it to look like and what they want it to feel like, and they do it every time, and it's really impressive to watch. Langoliers the other day against the Angels had 2 lineouts, and I remember I got the iPad and I looked at them and I was like, man, that is a perfect swing. Like, that is just pitcher perfect. There's no wasted movement, and that's kind of how it is up here. Like, there's no wasted movement, there's no wasted time, and guys got a plan, and they do that every day. And that's how they get success.
I love this. This is showing you're a student of the game.
Yeah.
Here you are paying attention to somebody else's outs.
Yeah.
You said that guy just put great swings on it. Obviously, you will see all of the data, the StatCast data that tells you about the swing and the ball and everything.
Yep.
But you're learning even when it's not you.
Yeah.
Talk about how that is a big part of now your game, that you're always trying to get better, even when the at-bat or the catch or whatever it is not directly tied to you.
Yeah, I mean, you just become a better player by watching the game. Even when I'm not playing, I'm watching the game. I'm watching, how the pitcher is pitching people, or what the catcher's kind of doing. You can get a lot of information from what the catcher's doing. But yeah, I really like to look at Langy. I like to watch his swing, man. It is the most short. It is compact. It's powerful. It's everything. And I like watching his at-bats. I go through. He does a great job every at-bat. Like, every at-bat, he goes up there and he gives you a good at-bat. And it's something fun to watch. I mean, we have a lot of guys who do that, but I just like watching Rook because it's so short. It's simple. It's awesome.
You have a wonderful opportunity right now to show everybody you deserve to be here.
Yeah.
You think about that every day when you come out here. You're like, man, it's time to seize the moment.
Yeah. I kind of saw a video of. I'm an Alabama fan, so I like watching. Alabama, obviously, and I love.
It was
Coach
a rough
Saban.
first game for you.
Yeah, it was. But I like Coach Saban. I liked how he coached, and I remember he said in an interview one time, he said, if I didn't show up today, would anybody miss my ass? And I always kind of think about that. So I kind of try to bring that to the field.
You know what? I sometimes do the deep dives, the little shorts on YouTubes with Nick Saban, because to me, having worked in the NFL and worked in the NBA, I do think that professional sports, they translate to other and college sports, whatever, great coaches, like certain things, the games can be different, but how you prepare, how you go about it, how you play, how you learn, that can translate in different sports. And you think of one of the great teachers, a lot of people forget, just, there was a time when Nick Saban was in the NFL as a defense coordinator before he was head coach.
Yep.
Nick Saban is a great teacher of the game.
Yeah. And I love watching that stuff. Like he had a way where he wanted to be a leader everywhere, and he was always really good at leading that. And it's just something you try to take away from him, and take it into a different sport, I guess, just that mentality.
I love that. If you didn't show up today, would you be missed? Would you?
I hope so. I think so.
Well, that's the one thing that I think what you're showing everybody, the athleticism.
Yep.
So it's just not people love the power, right?
Yep.
But then you start showing the athleticism.
Yeah.
Show what you can do in the outfield. Show that you got an arm. It's and let's just end on this. How important is it for you every single day? So if we're going to miss you, is to make sure that you show the all-around game every single day.
That's right. I want people to know like how I play. Like when I'm done, said and done career. I want people to be like, that guy played hard. That's if I go out there and I give you everything I got, whether I'm successful or not, but that's my goal. I want to go out there and I want to give our team, I want to give our manager, I want to give them everything I got. So that's kind of my goal. That's how I play.
There's nothing wrong with having a football mentality.
That's right.
There's nothing wrong. This is great stuff.
Of course.
We're going to have you back. 18 games left. We'll have you back. We'll talk a little football. And we'll see how Alabama will look going forward.
I think DeBoer's the guy. So, I'm behind him.
He's what you got.
He is.
Great stuff. We've got Dave O'Brien from the Boston Red Sox going to join us next right here on A's Cast Live.
ESPN's Paul Hembekides praised the A's young lineup, calling it one to watch while on A's Cast Live with Towny.
I have sure been noticing, and as I go to my Twitter timeline, and I looked at a tweet that I sent out at 11:37 a.m. Eastern on July 31st, the day of the Major League Baseball trade deadline, a tweet that has seen nearly 1 million views. As you may have seen, all I did was list any number of promising young players in the A's either lineup or system with their attached age, and this is something that people very clearly resonated with, because I list here Leo DeVries, Nick Kurtz, Max Muncy, Jacob Wilson, Tyler Soderstrom, Lawrence Butler, Denzel Clark, Shea Langoliers, and Brent Rooker, all of whom are 30 years of age or considerably younger. And so what I am telling you, my friend, is that the A's are building a freaking Leviathan. The A's lineup within the course of the next 3 years is going to be considered one of the 5 best in baseball. And right now you might say that their numbers are being inflated slightly or considerably by the fact that they play in a hitter-friendly ballpark. Last time you and I spoke, I believe I told you I expected to play small, and it most certainly has. However, you can even adjust what the A's are doing by ballpark, and you still clearly see Nick Kurtz hitting out of his ever-loving mind, and Jacob Wilson before the injury doing the exact same thing. So by no means am I willing to sit here and say that these guys are merely a product of their environment. No. This A's lineup is for real. It is ascending, and by the time you guys wind up where you ultimately wind up, I think we're talking about one of the very best lineups in all of baseball once these guys reach their prime collectively.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast.
A's Director of Player Development, Ed Sprague, joined Towny on A's Cast Live to discuss watching Leo DeVries play and what really wows him.
His swing in the on-deck circle is exactly like his swing in the game. You know, some guys' on-deck circle swing is a reminder of what they're trying to do, swing down the ball or swing up on the ball. His is just perfect balance. His lower half is balanced. He talks about his lower half balance. He sees the ball really well. His takes are really good, you know, and that's a good indication of how you're seeing the ball. He takes to the zone. He can check off pitches, and it's very similar from both sides. You know, I mean, I saw him probably a little more from the left than I did the right. Not that I've seen a ton, but it looks good. You know, I joked to David. I said, you may have just traded for Juan Soto, you know, so, you know, I hope that brings out to be true. And I know that's high praise on the kid, but in a small sample size, there was certainly a lot to like.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast.
Streaming from West Sacramento, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
We have the face of Red Sox television, longtime friend Dave O'Brien is with us here. And also, we'll be checking in because I got my kids at Cal. We'll be checking in, hard to believe, Cal and ACC. Look out for the Bears. They've started out 2-0.
Yes, I had them last year when they came to Durham, when they came to face Duke, and Cooper Flagg had that game, which turned out to be a really good basketball game. So
we're going to have Duke for Parents Weekend is coming up here. Then Bill Belichick will come to the Bay Area.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see because we had to deal with Bill when all my years with the Raiders. Now I got to deal with him at North Carolina.
Now you have to deal with him, right. And as a New England Patriots fan for the last 22 years, I know exactly what you mean. And so does every member of the media who ever had to deal with it. It's fascinating. That's a whole other hour you and I could do. But Bill Belichick, he still walks on water in New England, but things have changed a little bit, you know, now that he scuffled, certainly in his first game, got blown out, and we'll see how it goes.
It is just so weird to have that unbelievable run. Brady now is an owner of the Raiders doing television, and he got a statue there in New England. And Bill Belichick is a head coach at North Carolina. Like it's like bizarro world.
Yeah, it's like another planet you've traveled to through 5 different solar systems. Like, what are we talking about here? But you know, I still think he's a great football coach. But now, in hindsight, the way they're talking about it in New England, and I know you've got a lot of New England connections.
Yeah,
they're talking about Tom Brady like a little bit differently. Greatest quarterback of all time, hands down, no question about it. But was he even better for the Patriots? Because he and Bill kind of shared all that credit all those years. Not so much anymore in retrospect, because he had a tough time without Brady, and now even a tougher time in college trying to build it all on his own.
Yeah, and Brady leaves and wins the Super Bowl. Kind of like when you look at greatest football players of all time. All right, we start talking about Jim Brown and Lawrence Taylor, and Tom Brady's got to be right up there in that realm when you took the greatest just overall players. Looking at your Red Sox going into this series, I'm excited for the A's because I think then you're going to have Red Sox. You guys will go take on the Yankees after this, and then the A's again. So you've got 6 games coming up for these A's. This young core that's pretty talented.
Yeah.
They're playing against a team that's got urgency. They're playing against a team that needs to win, a team that's battling for the division, battling for their spot in the wild card. I think this is great for the A's. Give us, from your guys' side, coming here to the ballpark in West Sacramento.
I can see that. I can absolutely see Mark Kotze preaching that look, you got a measuring stick here, a team that's going to postseason play. You're facing a true ace tonight, one of the great 2 or 3 pitchers in all of baseball in Garrett Crochet. 5 minutes ago, he was right there neck and neck with Tarek Skubal to win the Cy Young in the American League. Skubal's gone by him a little bit now because last time out, Garrett had a really bad outing for him, gave up 7 runs, 4 home runs. That's the troubling thing, I think, coming in here to face the A's because they swing for the fences. The A's have 4 guys in the lineup tonight who have all hit more home runs than any Red Sox player. So this is dangerous, very dangerous territory. So if I'm Mark Kotze, that's what I'm talking about. Like, this is a measuring stick, a proving ground for the A's, and you guys just keep doing what you're doing. Red Sox, on the other hand, need to pick it up. They're going to go to postseason play. This has been a great year for the Red Sox.
Yeah.
As you know, 4 years since the Red Sox last made it to postseason. For most cities, that's just a blip. For the Red Sox, that feels like 25 years. So it's a big series coming off Arizona, having lost our leadoff man, Roman Anthony, and the pitching is scuffling coming in.
So I think about the year to do like a docuseries. This would have been the year, right? Because Devers was the guy. He was the $300 million plus contract. He got the contract after Mookie Betts had left, couldn't let him go. All the drama and the owner and the GM, our guy Breslow, they're all going to Kansas City to meet with him. This was the year to do all that.
They missed it.
And then all of a sudden, your team got better without him.
Yeah. Lost 7 out of 10 right after the Rafi Devers trade. And so everybody's worst nightmare was, okay, you deployed him, you've given up on the season. That's not what happened. Then the Red Sox won 10 in a row and jumped right back into actually trying to chase down Toronto for first place. Everything flipped at that time. You look at it now, Rafi Devers is still the best hitter on the Red Sox. If he were with us right now, he would still be the best offensive player on the team. But he just refused to play first base. He refused to even think about going back to third base. And that was too much of a prima donna to have around. It was 25 plus 1 instead of 26 guys. What happened after he was traded was they became 26 guys. This is a team that really likes each other. They play really well together. They enjoy each other's company. You don't have any of that stuff. And it was so important for, when I mentioned Roman Anthony, who's the number one prospect in baseball. He's hurt right now. But for him to see it's not going to be this way, just because you're making $30 million a year, that doesn't mean you run the organization. The organization and Craig Breslow had to make that decision. It was a very, very tough call, very gutsy call, but it was the right decision to make.
Yeah, it's so interesting that we have all these analytics and we have some really, really smart people working in our game. But sometimes there's things that you can't, because we're dealing with human beings, you got to go beyond. Mm-hmm. You know, what happens in that clubhouse with these 26 guys, how these human beings come together and work together, care about each other. You mentioned how much these guys care about each other. All that stuff I can't get on Baseball Savant or Fangraphs or Baseball Reference.
And it's very real. I mean, you walk into a clubhouse, you can feel it, sense it. You have a couple of touchstone guys in there, a coach, a player or two. You get a real feel for it. And the day after that trade, we were in Seattle, and I went into the clubhouse. And I heard guys talking about, you know what, the game is never about one guy. They weren't trying to bury Rafi. They liked Rafi. They enjoyed having Rafi around. They didn't enjoy how that whole mess played out and how it was affecting different guys. So they were saying the right things, but you could tell if you read between the lines, it's a move that had to happen, and they were, a vast majority of them anyway, pleased that move was made.
All right, so Roman Anthony comes up, and next thing you know, I get a bunch of texts from my family in the Boston area about the Roman Empire has started. Yes. Yeah. Man, you guys love this kid already.
Yeah, and there's no reason not to, because when he signed his contract extension, that was just a few weeks after he started his major league career, he actually made the statement, you know, that's enough money for me. Everyone wants me to make more. I'm like, that's plenty of money. It's $130 million. So let's put that in perspective. But I loved hearing that. And the entire New England region, I think, started really to fall in love with him when he said that. This is where I want to be my entire career. I don't want to be negotiating during the season and well in the next season. I want to get this done. You know, let's not talk about money anymore and let me go to work. That really goes over well in those 6 New England states, particularly in a working class town like Boston. And then, you know, an on-base percentage of 400. He hit one almost 500 feet in the minors. That became legendary. But at the top of the order, it's amazing, Chris, that a 21-year-old kid with very little major league experience can impact a lineup the way he did. It was astounding. He looked like he had played in the big leagues for 15 years. Also, incredible command of the strike zone. Great eye, like a Ted Williams kind of an eye. All of that stuff went into it, and the club took off after he was promoted on June 3rd. As much as the Rafi stuff, that's what drove this team to get into postseason position, where they are right now as the number 2 wild card.
I think of all the greats that have played in Boston. As you mentioned, it's a blue-collar town, and if you start thinking about Tom Brady, you go back to Larry Bird, you go to Bobby Orr, you go to they were never, I need to be the highest paid guy. It wasn't about money. It was about winning. Money came with that.
Yeah.
He's super smart by doing that.
Yeah, very, very much. And you know, his family is wonderful, and, you know, they've counseled him well. He gets great advice, but he's a really smart kid. When you talk to him, all he wants to do is play baseball. And somebody wrote the other day, he has like a grim determination about him, very mindful of a young Carl Yastrzemski. It's like, I'm in the box. This is all I care about. This is what I'm living and dying for. And with his teammates also, his teammates took to him immediately because of that work ethic and because of that determination to do one thing, and that's win baseball games.
All right, before we let you go, we still have so many people that know Alex Jensen, our good friend. He's now your son-in-law.
Jenny, my son-in-law.
Yeah. How's our guy Alex? How's everything with the family?
Doing fabulously well. He and my daughter Sammy are expecting in February, be their first child. Yeah. Alex is doing about 100 games, 115 games for the Worcester Red Sox. He's doing both radio and TV. We'll always remember he got his start right out here with you, and you know how much he loves the East Bay and how much of an A's guy he is. He's doing incredible work. He's doing a lot of work with J.P. Ricciardi, who's the former general manager. Yeah. They're partners on TV a lot. Just doing great. So thank you so much about asking about him. He's having a wonderful time.
The family's growing.
Yeah. I am 4 days into being a grandpa for the first time.
Congratulations.
Or Papa is what I'm going with. And little May was born 4 days ago, and we're still on cloud 9, and it's number 1 for us and about to have number 2 in February. So we're going to, all of a sudden, the clan is going to grow exponentially. You know?
Christmas, Thanksgivings will never be the same.
Never the same. I told my daughter Caitlin, who just delivered, I said, you're going to get used to this. I will never, ever say no to this girl. For the rest of her life, it's going to be yes, yes, yes. What you guys say no, that's not up to me. It's yes for me. So.
We kind of learned at the wedding you were kind of like that with your daughters too.
Yeah, well, I'm so glad you came, by the way, and had a great time. I hope everybody did. Eventually, we'll pay that off, that wedding. But no, it was a wonderful time, and we're just so over the moon right now with everything happening with the family, but the baseball team too. The fact the Red Sox are winning and back into the win column on a regular basis is thrilling for us.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's nobody better in our business than you, and that always means a lot when you, whether it was in Oakland and you came on the dusty field with us or at our new setup here.
This is very cool. Love it.
Yeah, this is they've done us right, but we've always appreciated the time because we know you're pretty busy. You got a lot going on.
You're the best. Thank you so much.
Good to see you, and congratulations with the family.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Great stuff. And we'll also talk a little ACC football with you later. Dave O'Brien with us from the Boston Red Sox and also ACC, covers them with the ESPN, doing the play-by-play. Nobody better in the business. Jesus Cano is going to join us. It's been a while since we saw him. We saw him at we talked at the trading deadline. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. It's great to be here. Came into town. Nice to escape the Arizona heat a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be
now,
here.
you grew up a Bay Area kid. You grew up a big A's fan, but you're now in Arizona.
Yeah.
And how is everything?
Oh, everything's been going on. It's actually been incredibly busy now that the Bridge League, Instructional League, and stuff like that's about to kick off. Arizona Fall League rosters are sort of going to be called out soon. So I got baseball going on into early November. So I'm busy, but it's the grind. It's the beauty of things, being around it so much in Arizona.
All right. We talked to you at the trading deadline because we were talking about Leo DeVries.
Yes, we were.
And you educated us like, oh, wow, this is a steal. This kid. So far, everything you've said has been right. I know you've been following it. What do you think so far, Leo DeVries as an athletic?
I think there's a lot of excitement going on, and you saw the way that he was able to perform at High A, Lansing, now being able to promote it to Midland, not just any, competitive team right now. They are a playoff-bound team. He's going to get that experience with them soon, and the adjustments have been great. 18 years old at AA. And to be able to hang up, obviously there's learning curves that comes with everything, but to be 18 years old and really be able to produce at that level, that's impressive. We talked about it the first time I came on. If he was born in the United States and went through the draft process, he'd be playing down in the Instructional League right now. Instead, he's AA, helping the Rockhounds try to get that championship there. So, it's a really good experience for him going on right now.
I am so glad you told me that because I've used that so many times going, all right, with people. If he was born in the United States, how long have you been with Baseball America?
I've been with Baseball America since January of this year. Before that, I was at MLB.com.
All right, so to chart guys, how many times do you actually see 18-year-old kids playing in AA?
Rarely. It's rare. It's almost a unicorn, It's like finding a needle in a haystack, right? It's really rare to be able to see that. We're seeing, Jesus Made from the Brewers just got called up to AA to be able to help out that team. I think we're just seeing baseball players, especially on the international side, come in a little bit more developed, and teams being able to trust their player develop and push them up to a little bit more too. I'm sure when the A's acquired the Breeze, they had conversations with the Padres about how they saw him, where they were going to put him through that year, and it kind of followed that plan for him to be able to put him down at AA. So just having that going on, I think, is a really good sign. And to be able to keep up, like, sure, the numbers aren't like fantastic, batting 300 or nothing like that, but to be able to produce, to be able to get balls off of these guys, to be able to, take grounders, and play really good defense at that level, it's a really good thing to have.
All right, so Ed Sprague, our director of player personnel, two-time World Series champion with the Toronto Blue Jays back in the day, said he talked to his counterparts with the Padres, and they were talking about maybe bringing up DeVries this year to play left field. And it was like, what? Now, we heard about next year, but there were actual conversation with the Padres about bringing him up as an 18-year-old. That's like Al Kaline style. I mean, just what do you make of that?
I mean, for one, a lot of trust. 18 years old to be able to play in left field at Petco Park. I mean, that's a really big thing, just with everything that's gone on to him in his baseball journey in these past 2 years. But I think it kind of shows, the level of maturity that he has, his baseball readiness at this current level. And, I mean, if they would have done that, that would have been quite the talk, quite the buzz around not just, the way players are brought up. And when we talk about, fast risers like Kurtz and a bunch of other guys that called up, to have your 18-year-old international signing that high would have been crazy. But at the same time, it's like I mentioned before, that's just the amount of trust that they have in this kid to be able to succeed. And now the A's have it on their hand. Whatever their plan is, up to them. But I think they're going to be in a really good position no matter what they decide to do with him.
I get asked all the time, do you think he stays at shortstop? What do you think?
I think he definitely has the athleticism and the arm to play shortstop, but it's like we talked earlier in the year, right? What's going to happen when he's up and Jacob Wilson's still at shortstop? The thing about the A's is that they really like to keep their players really versatile, right? So you have guys playing different positions. We see it with a plethora of different players, right? With DeVries, I think he's athletic enough to play second, to play third, all over the infield too. And, like you said earlier, I think he could play in the outfield too. If that's the Padres, what they had enough trust in him to put him in the outfield at this spot. With the A's, with the amount of time they have to develop him, I think they would be in a really good position to do that. But I think, A's keep him really versatile, so I don't think it'll be an issue once he gets called up, whether it's next year or in 2027.
Well, it's how much is he going to grow, right? He's only 18 years old, so if we're looking at 6'1", $185, does that end up being like 6'2", 200, 210? I don't know.
I know. I think you used I think I was watching you one time, and you made a great comparison about if he's entering right now, if he was a college football player, that's the built of a cornerback, a wide receiver right now. And we see a lot of these guys getting drafted, how built up, how jacked they are. Is DeVries going to reach that level? Not necessarily, but if he's able to produce what he's doing right now at his mold, at his age, once he gets stable more, not just on the baseball side, but the physical side, he's able to keep up with a lot of, higher level talent, he's going to be really good.
I've been amazed at what a go-getter he is. Mm-hmm. Right? So he's been paid. He's 18 years old. The story of filling up his gas tank, calling up saying, hey, tell Lansing I'm coming. I want to be in the lineup tonight. Now he wants to go play in the Dominican in winter ball. There is something. This kid wants to be great. Mm-hmm. When you look at these prospects, how much do you look into that when you look at will, desire? Because, that's all that stuff that we can't find that analytic. What's in your heart?
Yeah, makeup's a really important part of the game because especially being around the complex a lot more, and I feel like you can speak to this, a lot of these higher bonus guys, they get the big bonus, whether it's $2 million and $3 million, whatever it is, they feel like they've made it in their eyes, right? Because they got the big money and they're able to help financially support their family back home in their respective country and kind of stop putting that effort. But DeVries got a lot of money, and you see every single day. I mean, he's working out there like he got $10,000, right? He's working out there to prove that he belongs here. And I'm sure, whatever happens down the road with Midland, whether they win, whether they lose in the series, I'm sure he's going to be the first person to say, hey, AAA playoffs are happening. Let me go up and help out that team, and then let me get over to the Dominican Republic and play or whatever. So that's the type of attitude that he is. If there's,
I love it.
Yeah.
But is there ever a point though where you may have to pull him back and kind of protect him from himself?
I think so. I mean, especially when you're young and 18 years old, and this is your world, this is what you work for. It is his job at the end of the day, but it doesn't really feel like work because it's what he's loved his entire life. I think at some point A's are going to be able to be like, all right, calm down, chill out. Enjoy time, because that is a big part of it, is spending time with family and stuff like that too. But he's a grinder, he's a go-getter, like you mentioned it.
All right, we saw an article today. Let's switch over to Nick Kurtz. Our buddy Mike Petriello from MLB.com. I know you know Mike. Kurtz really is having one of the best debuts you've ever seen, where he starts talking about what he has been doing, especially, in the last couple months. What do you make of that? One of the best debuts you have ever seen in the history of the game.
I mean, and he's not slowing down either. That's the thing with a lot of young pitchers. You might see, a lot of young hitters, you might see a point in time where pitchers start to be able to know what he is, but it seems like every single night when he goes up there, you can be like, this guy's going to get a hit, and that's exactly what it does. And the thing about it, too, it's not just the power, right? It's being able to hit to all sides of the field. It's being able to use all the fields. I mean, you see some opposite field home runs that are, like, out there, and he reaches out like he's trying to hit like a paddle boat or something like that and is able to knock it out. I think that's what's the really impressive things about these things, man. You look at a lot of hitters are one-dimensional, especially a lot of first base only, right? They're also limited. You rely on the bat, but he's getting better at defense and using the ball over the field, and he's using it with power. I mean, to say that it's one of the best debuts we've seen in a while, for sure. And I think if he was playing on somewhere like the Yankees or the Red Sox, per se, they'd be hearing all over and stuff like that. But the best rookie in baseball is being played here in West Sacramento, and I think people need to start paying more attention to that.
Yeah, there's no question. He's going to be the runaway rookie of the year. It really just, how do you project the rest of his career going? It's one of those that you think going to be really, really special. Also nice to see Jacob Wilson after getting hit after the fracture in the wrist, to see him heating up again. What are you seeing with Jacob Wilson?
I mean, it's just a consistency to it, being, I wouldn't say necessarily aggressive in the zone, but knowing when to hit. I think the interesting thing about guys like Jacob Wilson, and I'll throw Luis Arias out there, guys who aren't going to necessarily hammer it with power, or though with Wilson, we've seen that power kind of come out recently, but they're not going to be guys that are going to go out there and take the hardest swings. When you look at their numbers, they have one of the lowest swing velocity speeds in the entire league, and you see that with a lot of contact hitters because they're more focused on just trying to make a contact, try and put the ball in play rather than just wanting to hit him over the fence. And I think we've continued to see that. I think right before the injury, saw him slow down a bit. And obviously the injury, very unfortunate, but I think it gave him a lot more time to study, see the ball really well, and also being surrounded by a lot of good teammates that know to hit the ball. I think that's an important aspect of it too. He's growing with a lot of these guys. And I mean, A's player development, I mean, they've just done such a fantastic job with the homegrown talent that they've been able to produce recently. I mean, not just the hitters, but the pitcher-wise too. So there's a lot of good stuff going on the player development side for the A's too.
And one thing that I really want to emphasize today on NBC, and we haven't done it much on this show today, but we're going to do it on NBC, is like all of a sudden you're looking up and you've got Player of the Month in July, that's Nick Kurtz. Player of the Month in August, that's Tyler Soderstrom. And everybody's Brent Rooker's going to the All-Star game, so Jacob wasn't. And in the end, the guy probably on the best year at 23 years old is Tyler Soderstrom. When you look at his year starting at first, then it left, you look at the numbers, the offensive numbers, you can make a case that the best overall player this year for the Athletics has been Tyler Soderstrom.
I think that's a really good argument to make, too, especially I think there was a lot for him to prove this year, right? He had been up on the major league side, got the experience in, but just wasn't producing at the level that the A's wanted and he wanted. And I really think that, the pressure of having a guy like Kurtz coming up who's playing the same position as him, I really think that, not to create competitiveness or anything like that, but when there's a guy, who's really good, plays the same position as you got to step it up. And he stepped up at the plate certainly at the beginning of the season, and it's been able to kind of, stay steady throughout the entire year. But I think the other thing, too, is him being a team player, him being like, you need me behind the plate, I can do it. You need me at first, I can do it. You need me to play in the corner outfield, I will do it. And he's been doing a fantastic job. Every time I seem to tune into the A's game, I mean, he's making a really spectacular play and making it look like he's been there forever. But in reality, he just picked it up this year. So I think, Soderstrom and a couple of the other guys, I mean, to see a lot of your homegrown talents, but also guys that, that you worked on consistently starting to flourish at this level, it gives a lot of excitement heading into next season.
Yeah, and I know I was definitely one of those guys, like all of a sudden you're like, let's move him to third. He's gotten to be so good in left and so comfortable in left. I'm now at a point I'm pretty secure with just saying, let's leave him there. Yeah. Leave him alone. Now, if you want to move him to third and he's cool with it, and that could happen, it would help out a lot because until Tommy Tank shows up there, I don't know what we're going to do at third, but if they just say, Soda, you're playing left, if we need you to come play first, that's fine. But just kind of leave him in the left and let him go.
And I think that's kind of the beautiful thing about baseball players in general, especially you've been around the game so much. You see it in a lot of other sports where they're like, nah, I'm playing this position, I don't care what. But in baseball, it's so nice to see people be like, This is a team sport, and you see a lot of those guys in the A's clubhouse. I know we're talking about Soderstrom specifically, but to be able to remain versatile, like we mentioned, it's kind of been a, even me growing up watching the A's play, I feel like you saw Stephen Vogt play first base. You saw Stephen Vogt play in the outfield. The A's like to keep their guys versatile. When they have guys like that, it contributes to a lot of different success here.
What have you thought of Lawrence Butler's center field with Denzel Clark being out?
He's done fantastic. Obviously, there are certainly big shoes to fill with Denzel Clark, but for him to be able to come up, especially with the amount of defensive value Denzel Clark gives the team, not just from a, team standpoint, but in the short amount of time, he was proved to be one of the better defenders in the entire league, regardless of what position. So for him to be able to do that at the same time while making some adjustments at the plates, and I think over the past 2 weeks we've seen a little bit those adjustments come through, has been huge. And I think it also shows Lawrence Butler athleticism to be able to play anywhere too. It's really exciting group right now down here on the outfield side.
And for Denzel Clark, it's just, we saw such greatness, stuff that we'd never seen before. So the fact that it's gone, we haven't been able to see it. I feel like we've been robbed of it. Like how can you burst onto the scene like this and go away? Because the catches he's made, they're catches no one's ever seen.
I know it's great. And it's crazy because there's been a couple of catches since that happened where I've seen people on social media be like, this is catch of the year candidate. This is catch of the year candidate. No, it isn't. They do not see what Denzel Clark did in Anaheim earlier this year. Come on. That is something
Rafaela's catch against the Diamondbacks.
Oh, no, that's Clark's catch is heads above shoulders. You have to literally go over to catch that. I just don't see how people can be like, this might be one of the best catches of all time. Come on.
All right, so Baseball America, what do you have going on? So once the season ends, what do you do?
It's handbook season. So once the season ends, we're working on our handbook, updated top 30s and stuff like that. But from a prospect side, Chris, I do want to highlight something important, and we're going to see it, come. We've already seen it a couple of times. But the A's international system has really stepped it up a notch. We're seeing down here with Luis Morales with the way he's been pitching. But you look down at the farm, the DSL A's were the runner-ups. They have a couple other teams that are in the playoffs right now. There's really exciting players like Edgar Montero, who was one of the best players in the DSL. He's playing in Instructs this year. And you see guys, even at AAA, Junior Tour has been doing really good for them. Pacheco has been doing really good for them. And they've also had
Perez, the guy we got from the Padres, is doing really well.
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of people are doing really, really well down there too. And they tapped into the Taiwanese market a little bit too. Wei Yanlin, Chen Shuang, just to name a couple of players that have been doing really good. And when you look at the past, I don't think the A's international system has been as strong. People can say Cespedes was probably the last guy, but he was a Cuban player that was already developed, ready to grow. Now we're seeing a lot of homegrown talent. I think there's a lot of excitement to be around the A's international system. So that is one thing I really wanted to highlight because I've been able to see it firsthand.
All right, well, keep your cell phone on. We're going to be calling you throughout the offseason and find out what's going on with the A's. And I love how you highlighted the international because, international has been great. That's going to do it for A's Cast Live. Coming up next, we're going to send it up to Johnny and Ken Korak, the Hall of Famer. Then I'll be back with Steve Sachs for A's Cast on NBC Sports California. We want to thank you, Jesus. We want to thank Dave O'Brien. We also want to thank Colby Thomas for stopping by today. Great show, A's Cast Live. We'll see everybody tomorrow at 5 o'clock.
The A's YouTube page is your go-to destination for A's video content. Get access to great highlights, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, classic games, A's Cast Live, and more. Visit youtube.com/athletics.
This has been a presentation of The Athletics.